Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well on this brisk, chilly Thursday night. Good to see you out here in Facebook land. Welcome to Unmasking Love tonight. I am your host, Dr. M. Welcome to Unmasking Love. Come on in. Come on in. Reach out to a sister, reach out to a brother, and tell them to come on in. Join us tonight. Let's talk about some realistic, relevant issues that we're faced on a daily basis in our relationships and in our marriages. Take some of these masks off. How many masks can people wear? That's a whole nother topic in itself. Again, welcome tonight. Come on in, Facebook Live. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's talk about some realistic, relevant issues. All right. Unmasking Love. Again, I'm your host, Dr. M. And tonight I have one of my favorite co-hosts joining me tonight. None other than the Dr. Brenda Wilson. Yes, she's going to join us tonight and we're going to talk tonight. So go ahead, tag some people, share, tell them to come on in and let's get this party started tonight. Come on, tell me, why do couples lose interest? Why does one person lose interest? Or why do they lose interest in each other? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Come on in. Well, hello there, Dr. Brenda Wilson.
Hello, how are you?
Doing fantastic tonight. You just welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Unmasking Love again. We're going to be talking about tonight, why do couples lose interest? Why does one lose interest? Or why do they lose interest in each other? Interesting. So we're waiting about another minute for some people to join us, and we're going to talk about this relevant topic tonight. What do you think about our topic tonight?
I think it's pertinent, and I hope we can give them some answers and some solutions.
All right, that's it right there. I tell you, you're so right. We're living in a time now where people are really looking for answers and looking for solutions, because no one likes to grapple with issues every day for real, if we be honest with ourselves.
That's true.
You talk to people sometimes, how's everything going today? Oh, it's okay, it's all right. That's not living. Okay, all right, okay. So yes, indeed, welcome. Come on in, Facebook. We're gonna get this party started. We're not gonna worry about how do you say it, algorithms and all of those wonderful things, because sometimes we know they are kind of off course a little bit. Yeah, sometimes when the live it's like another minute or so behind the actual broadcast. That is something, isn't it? But anyway, we're going to make it do what it do. Well, we can only do what we can do on our part. All right. So welcome. Good to see you out there tonight, Facebook land. Hey, Miss Jennifer. Oh, bless your heart. What she say? Miss Jennifer, let me take my glasses off, see what she say. She said, I didn't stay married long enough to lose interest. She said, I would say boredom in marriage, each one is different, however. Bingo, Miss Jennifer. How about that? Good to see you, Miss Sharon, tonight. I see you. Welcome. All right, then. Well, Miss Jennifer, I'm going to say this. Sometimes they say love is better the second time around. How about that? And I know what you're probably going to say, Miss Jennifer. You're going to say at your age, you're not interested. Don't count yourself out, girl. People are getting married in their 80s and 90s all the time. So don't count yourself out. Yeah, it's not over until it's over. Yes, indeed. So welcome. Good to see you all out there tonight. So we'll just get started. Miss Brenda, you want to tell everybody hello and greet them and say anything you want to say as way of introduction? It's great to have you tonight. It's an honor to have you, my co-host emeritus. Just whenever she feels like she wants to join, She is I'm gonna say the host. I'm the co-host tonight. How about
Oh,
yeah.
don't put all of that responsibility on me.
Oh, I
I'm
yield.
I'm glad to be here talking about this particular subject. And I hope that people will ask questions and I hope that we can give good answers.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I don't know what Miss Jennifer said. I'm not with a smiley face on there. What are you, Miss Jennifer? You what, 75, 76? Post your age so I can see it in the live, Miss Jennifer. Welcome, welcome. So anyway, we're not gonna, as they say, prolong the time tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get started tonight. You know, um, why do couples lose interest? That's a I don't want to put a dollar price on it, but that's a multi-million dollar question because I've seen it and I see it, and I believe we'll continue to see it um, for various reasons. However, I think it's something that people who don't want to lose interest or don't want someone to lose interest in them, they need to look at that and do some investigating. You know, look
Yes,
at how you've changed since your courtship, since you're dating, since your second or third year of being in this relationship or being in a marriage. Are you doing the same things? And I don't mean like repetition, but I mean, have you really shifted? Have you turned into just a couch potato? You don't want to go anywhere and do anything? Or are you one who have turned into a workaholic? You're going to go to work, off to work I go because I got bills to pay. Okay, but you let everything else pertaining to the two of you as a couple, kind of fall to the wayside. Listen, have the children or a child taken most of the time up of one of you, or perhaps both of you? You just invest so much of yourself and so much of your time into the baby, you know or into the children, into their activities or whatever. Then you just don't feel like you have any energy or any time to invest in the two of you. I don't know. There's no one answer. There's many answers, but those are some of the things that just comes to mind right now. So come on in and talk to us. Let's talk about why do couples lose interest? All right. What you thinking? What you thinking, Dr. Wilson?
well, one of the reasons could be a lack of commitment to the relationship and a
Okay.
lack of commitment to the partner. Some people are committed to the idea of marriage, so they just want to be married. I've seen men and women both that pull off their wedding bands and say that their partner is married. Well, they're not committed to their partner. They're not
Wow.
committed to the relationship of marriage and building. They're, so that's one thing I've observed.
Wow. That's powerful right there. That is something that, listen, that was powerful. They're not committed.
And
They
not,
say the partner is married.
yes,
Wow.
yes, my wife is married, but I'm not. Or my husband is married and I'm not. You hear it mostly from men.
Well, I think that'll do it. That will definitely cause interest uh, uh,
Yes.
on the other person's part. If you're telling me that I'm the one that's married and you're not, I think that will do it.
I don't know
Wow.
if they told that to their partner. They were telling that to people who were potential partners.
Wow.
And that's a sign that you should run.
I know you're right. Run.
Because
That's exactly right.
if they will do that to the person they stood before people and made a vow before God to, they will do it to you.
How about that? Wow. Now, see, that's one that I didn't even think about. That one didn't make my list. So that's why it's wonderful for me to be a co-host and you to be a host. That is something right there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's noteworthy. That's worth thinking about right there.
And the other is the motivation for marriage. Why did you get married? Some people
Oh,
marry so
let's.
that they can sleep with somebody when they want to. Some people marry for security reasons or convenience.
Okay.
Um, they'll say that I love you because that's the word people want to hear, but they won't act it out. And so, love is more than an emotion or an idea, it's a chosen behavior towards someone in your life with it takes a level of maturity first of all to know what love is, to find out what love is, because many of us think that love is sex.
Mm.
So if he had sex with me, he must love me. No, no, no. He just had sex with you, sweetie. He didn't necessarily have to love you. He loved perhaps what the sex produced. You can tell by the way they get up and go and leave you by yourself, and you be wanting to have a little afterglow, and it's not there because they are gone.
Wow. And you know what I'm hearing too, Dr. Wilson? That pendulum swings both ways now. That used to be a thing. So I hear and I'm told back in the day when men would do that. But now
Mhm.
women are flipping the script. They're saying, hey, they've been doing it to us forever. So hey, I don't have to be really into you either. So hey, I'm, just what they call maintenance men. And
Yes.
bye, see ya. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. We're gonna get into that soon too. We're gonna bring it now. I think it's about time for us to turn up the heat a little bit. People think we're gonna be babysitters. I ain't no babysitter. I just been trying to ease you into a few things. Yeah. So come on in. Welcome. Good to see you. I see you, Lynette. Good to see you tonight, Apostle. Good to see you. I see my cousin from Georgia, Brenda Gates. Good to see you tonight. Yes, welcome, welcome. Y'all join in. Help us talk about these topics tonight so we can have some fun here. Uh, Miss Jennifer says sometimes following a friend, they get married. You want to get married. They have a child and you want one. Ain't that something? Okay. Let me see what else she says. And now you're not nowhere near ready for either. I know you're right. Not ready for the child or the marriage. You don't know what you say. Wake up the next morning. Did I do that? What did I get myself into? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about why do couples lose interest? Either one or each of them lose interest. And Dr. Wilson made a profound statement a minute ago. She said they lose interest perhaps because they were never committed in the first place.
Mhm.
Wow, that's powerful. Good to see you tonight, Overseer. Good, Billy Hall. Good to see you tonight. So that is powerful right there. And you will definitely lose interest in someone who's not interested in you
Absolutely.
and who's not committed to you. So that is powerful in itself. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, I believe another reason people lose interest is there's no communication
Or miscommunication.
or miscommunication. That's it.
That
Yeah.
was a big thing in my marriage.
Okay.
My husband would often say to me, "We've got to do something about this communication," because he was from Flint, Michigan. I'm from Alabama. He grew up in a family with four siblings. I grew up alone. Uh,
Okay.
his mom and dad were together the whole childhood. My mom was a single mom.
Got
And
it.
so our experiences were different. And
Yeah.
I'm a Southern belle. And I used to call him a damn Yankee.
Southern Belle on a Yankee.
But he would tell me that, and I would say to him, baby, we are doing all that we can do to communicate. When we understand that we have miscommunicated, acknowledge it, fix it, and go on. And that's the best you can do, because we would say words or say phrases mean one thing, and the partner interprets it as meaning something else. And so if you don't talk, then you will be have misunderstandings. That's what you
Yes,
have.
yes,
Lead to arguments and stuff like that, or falling out. People live in houses together and not speak to each other for days or weeks because they are immature and want to have their way. You can't be selfish in a relationship. You just,
yes, yes. Throw temper tantrums like a toddler.
yes,
Take your marbles and want to go to the next room,
yeah.
or want to run to your mama's house.
No, go out with the boys,
Yeah,
those kind of things. No, and slamming doors and all, finding out what your weaknesses are and using that against you during that time. All
wow.
those things are immaturity.
Yes, yes. Another thing doing that communication, what I've learned and I'm still learning, lots of folk don't know how to communicate effectively,
Yes, I find that
because
every day.
healthy communication consists of more listening than it does speaking, you see? And so if and intentionally engaging one another, if I'm
Yes,
intentionally listening to you so that I can understand what you're saying rather than just listening with a quick response, you
yes,
see? So I'm listening as you're speaking, I'm being quiet so I can register what you're saying.
yes,
Now, when you finish speaking, I can give it back to you and say, so what you're saying is da 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 da. And you
yes.
can say, no, that's not what I said, or that's not what I mean. So that's the way we communicate effectively. And so many people don't know how to do that. So communication is definitely one of the things that will cause you to lose interest on the part of one, or sometimes on both.
Yes.
No one likes to be talked at
Or down too.
or down to. Talk with each other, you see. So
Yes.
learning how to communicate. And even for someone who says, I don't talk, I don't hear a whole lot of women say that. But occasionally you'll hear men say, I'm just not a talker. I'm just not a talker. I
Well, it's the
said,
nature of a man to not be a talker. But if you're in a relationship, you do what's necessary to stay in that relationship. You don't
well,
use
you
that as an excuse.
well, you talk to who you want to talk to
Yeah,
and
you
talk
do.
about what you want to talk about.
Hmm.
And
And you
I
talk
just,
to me long enough to get my interest,
there you go.
so I'd be in this position. So what happened?
Listen, they don't have a problem trying to talk you into compromising positions, right? And things like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, somebody's talking.
That's
Yes,
true.
indeed. So come on in. I'm waiting on somebody to add something to our conversation online here tonight. Welcome to all of you. If I've missed your name, I didn't do it on purpose, but good to see you all tonight. We're just trying to unpack some things that causes one or both to lose interest in each other when they are in a relationship or in a marriage. So we've already talked about losing interest because there was no commitment for real on the part of one, or
Right.
maybe even both. We don't know, because people get together for
Different reasons.
various reasons. you
Yes.
know and I think you alluded to that, Dr. Wilson, when you were talking about, back in the day, uh people would get married because the girl was pregnant.
Yes.
Parents made you pretty much get married, back then. Okay. Some people get married for financial reasons. Okay. So we're not really talking about the reasons that you get married, but we're talking about what happens to cause you to lose interest. There's some people who married back in the day because she got pregnant, that the marriage lasted, and they stayed together for quite a few years, or even till death, did them part. But there were
Yes.
some who were never in it to win it,
That's true.
you know, and they just, time just wreaked havoc, and eventually they just went their separate ways. Some of them tried to play that song, make up to break up. That's all we do. They was going back and forth, and breaking up and separating and going home, and all of that, until they just said, "Listen, this is not working for us." So for various reasons. So what's another reason you think why couples lose interest?
Well, we can say they're not committed, and another reason could be they are not vested in the relationship. If I'm going to marry you and I want you to be my life's partner, I'm going to learn your habits, learn you, and how to please you. If that's mutual and it continues, then that's a good foundation or basis to work from. Um, some people decide that um, I'm the husband, you do what I say, you're the wife. I expect you to have my house clean, take care of the babies, do the cooking, and work, and take
Wow.
care of the yard. Some women have all that to do, um, and some men expect that. When I got married the last time, I was in a quandary about what does this mean? I'm going to take his name, but do I give up being me? And I had to learn how to adjust so that I didn't give up being me. But what happens in the scriptures, God tells us as married couples to become one. And what happens is if you're doing it with your heart in it and you love your partner loves you, you're going to evolve into new creatures because part of you is going to become part of him and vice versa. And so you create something new and something wonderful. It should be that way.
Oh,
But if you're
wow.
not committed and if you're not in love with the other person, I used to ask my husband, at least I asked him a couple of times, sweetheart, what turns you on? And he said to me, turning you on. So I just went with it.
Well, that's generating interest there. That's not losing interest. That's a good thing. Yeah. So
But
look,
you got to
somebody
keep
need
it,
to hear about that. That's
yeah, you
it.
got to keep it fresh.
Amen.
And
That's
you,
good.
and I know in our society that we put the pressure of keeping it fresh on the woman. You got to look good all the time, keep your figure, keep your hair done, your nails done, and all that. All that is very important. But your motivation for getting it done and changing it up and creating a mystique about yourself as a woman, that's our skill. That's God gave us that gift. Many of us have gotten so far away from our mystique, the part that causes a man to be interested in you. And
Hmm.
some women have it naturally, other women have to develop it. But
Right.
however, you need to have it to keep the interest growing. Variety, change things up, do things
Yeah. Yeah.
differently. Um, so yeah, kind of keep it where you don't really know what to expect
Yeah.
and make plans to do things differently.
Yeah. And
We
that
we
goes
have
in line with that romance and intimacy as well, because we know, listen, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and make Jill want to run away, so you definitely have to, if you are not interested intimately and romantically, that's definitely something that will cause you to lose interest. Because listen, you didn't get married so that you could see how much time you could spend apart.
that's true.
Duh.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, okay. Let's see what the audience is talking about right here. Okay. Uh, Apostle Lynette says, "Oh, you lose interest if you found somebody else."
That's because you were looking.
Ain't that something? Hey, hey, Apostle Lynette, I'm a music person like you. They may have been listening to some Johnny Taylor. My my body is here with you, but my mind is on the other side of town. Watch out now. Okay, I know most people too saved to know about that song. So that's definitely possible. Definitely will lose interest if you
Yes.
have found someone else. Okay, I see someone on here that's interested in another topic that we're going to talk about. She would love to hear about info. And I have to do this, y'all, because I don't have bifocals, but I don't take my glasses off when I'm. She said, I haven't dated in 40 years. This meeting people is something serious. Watch out, sis. I'm telling you, it is serious. You have to be vigilant. And I talked about this last week. I want you to go back and look at last week's taping with Dr. Eddie. He was on with me. You have to be very vigilant. It's not for the faint. And yeah, because you can get catfished real easy. You can get duped real easy. So that's something definitely, Sister Cameron, that we can talk about. You just have to be vigilant, you know. I will say this, since you asked, you have to know what your expectations are, what your goals are, you know, and be able to express those. I'm going to say in almost like an elevator speech when you meet someone, you see,
Yeah.
or maybe just a few seconds longer than an elevator speech. But you got to be clear about your intentions.
Yes.
Otherwise, listen, it's some slick ricks out there. You can be swayed in just a few minutes because he'll do just what you said earlier, Dr. Wilson. He'll say all the right things, but listen, his actions will not line up with those words, and you won't realize that until you've already had a moment.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, whoa, what happened? You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll definitely talk more about dating. I know we talked last week also about online dating and things like that. And I won't say online dating because for me, I really don't believe you can date online. I believe you can meet someone and talk to
Mhm.
someone
Yes.
and get some information and collect data. Okay. But dating or courting cannot take place
Online
online.
only.
You know, you can only talk. I
Mhm.
believe you have to eventually meet a person if you're going to establish what you call dating or courtship. You just can't do that online. Now, anybody might disagree, and it's okay. That's my belief.
Yeah.
Okay. Because dating, I need to be able to engage you. You need to be able to engage me. You know, I need to watch your mannerisms. Matter of fact, I need to see the real you. You can hide behind that camera and you can show me your face all day. Okay. I haven't seen your whole physique, you know, so I don't
Yes.
have a clue what you look like. And you can even have your voice muffled. It might not be your voice, it might
That's
not
true.
even be your picture. A lot
Yes.
of folks online use other folks' pictures. Okay. I'm just telling you what I know. So you have to be very vigilant. You know, I'm not opposed to meeting someone. You know, I've known people and I know some people who someone has, as Eddie would say last week, slid into their DM or sent them a message, you see, and they begin to talk and
Mhm.
then they begin to communicate, you know, and then they showed interest in each other. And that's how it's built. But if
You're
someone just,
building a friendship
there you
that
go.
way, but you
Yeah.
can't build a whole relationship just on media. You need to
No.
see people in different circumstances, worship together, go out to a restaurant together, go to a movie, see him with his friends. You see, have him be with your friends, see how he reacts, see how she reacts. So we cut ourselves short. We think because we get emotionally connected to somebody that we're in love with them. And that's just an emotional connection. That's another reason why we lose interest because we think it's one thing when it's altogether something else.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, and time and maturity, as we know, will teach us so much. You know, love is like a seed or flower, okay, that we plant and it grows and it blossoms. You know, I know there's some people who believe that it's full blown love when you first meet and all of the above. And I'm mature enough not to believe that. You see,
Love at first sight,
yeah, it's something at first sight, but
lust perhaps.
perhaps. and it can be some genuine interest, and you can be smitten. We can use that word. All of those things are relevant. So, but I think I have no doubt that the love will grow as the connection grows. You see, as the interest just continues to build and those type things. You see, the things that draw you closer together as opposed to making you lose interest in one another.
Yes.
I see someone mentioned on here, hey, Chris, see my other cousin on. She said communication stopped for some when they start traveling in separate vehicles, of course, or never going any place together. Listen, I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. I've known watch folk over the years who everywhere they go in separate cars. They even leave the house and go to church in separate cars.
Separate cars.
What?
Yes.
I'm just not understanding that to save my life. That might be me, you know. On top of that, Chris, I've known some men who've had certain cars that their wife couldn't drive. I'm like, what?
All right, then.
Oh my, she couldn't even ride in it. See, I didn't know
Yeah.
that part, but I
Uh-huh.
knew she couldn't drive it. I mean, guys, actually, I said, what? I said, you got a car now that your wife can't drive? He said, well, she got her car. She don't need to drive my car. Look, dude, you couldn't be married to me because you couldn't have a car that was too good for me to drive.
Or
That's
anything
just me.
else. Or anything else.
That we're gonna leave that alone. But yeah, you're right. When you start wanting to do your own thing all the time, you see what I'm saying? That will. I don't know about anybody else, but that will cause me to lose interest because let's say this. Let me use myself as an example. Now, being a widow as long as I have, I go everywhere I want to go, do everything I want to do alone. Okay. Now, if I marry, okay, and I've still got to do that, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? I don't
Unless
need you to be connected to my elbow everywhere I go, but most of the places that I go, I want you to be with me. And most of the places that you go, I would want to be with you if we're going to work on building a union. But if we can't be together, yeah, that would cause me to lose interest right there. Yeah. So come on here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, I see it. I figured you would catch that one, Apostle. Turning you on, turn him on. Yeah, that's it. That's a whole nother song we can sing about in a minute.
yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying, sister. Sis Cameron. I have a high standard that has been set, so I definitely have a speech prepared. Listen, I'll be the first to tell you, it's nothing wrong with having high standards, and it's nothing wrong with having a speech. But I will tell you, there's some things on this long list that we have of requirements and expectations, and especially for those of us who were married in the past and we had what we call, like you, for instance, a wonderful husband. Let me tell you, I'm sure it's another one out there, but I'm going to say it's not another Sorrels out there. Hear me when I tell you that. Hear me
Yeah.
when I tell you that. So if I could offer you any suggestion, I'll say just don't look for him in your next guy. Okay.
Yes.
Are you
That would
hearing
be a
me?
mistake.
Don't look for him in your next guy. All right. I just wanted to share that. And we can talk sometimes offline as well, but just wanted to share that. Okay. So back to the subject at hand. Come on, Facebook. Y'all ain't gonna talk to us tonight. You all gonna leave me and Dr. Wilson up here to
Well,
go through this stuff.
we
But
can
that's
talk to
okay.
each other.
That's it. But listen, another thing that will cause you to lose interest is not openly expressing your needs, not listening actively, and failing to address problems that can erode the emotional connection.
Yes.
All of those things will cause you, you see, um, to lose interest as well. Okay. Or if you keep bottling up issues and constantly arguing all the time, and spewing out negativity. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to hear negativity all the time. with love and kindness have I drawn thee, right? I
Yes.
want to draw you to me. I don't want to push you away from me. You see?
Yes.
So I need to be able to do that with some love and kindness and some spirit of inviting. Okay. Oh, you're definitely welcome, sis. You're welcome. She said thanks. Um, we know that incompatibility can cause you to lose interest. And it's a mystery there. It's a mystery because a lot of people get together and they believe they are compatible. Wonder why? I wonder why.
Well, there had to have been some actions that would make them think that they were, but compatible in every area, compatible in most areas, and compatible in some areas, sexually compatible, and you think everything else is going to fall into place because the sex is so good. All of that is a
Mm-mm,
part of
mm-mm.
it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes you can be highly compatible over here. You see,
Yes.
when you first start out. But there again, I believe there are other areas that has to have to be nurtured. Like a flower, and I'll use that analogy. They have to be watered or they have to be fed. And they will grow. You see,
Have to have sunlight.
yes.
And you need
There's
to talk to them if they're house plants. They all need affection.
That's right. That's exactly right. So let's talk about is it normal to lose is somebody asked a question, is it normal to lose attraction to someone?
Yeah, we evolve as human beings. We're not stuck in one place.
Okay.
So yeah, you can. It's normal, and because it's normal, you need to fight not to do it.
And I think you
Right.
said it. You said it right there. We're evolving and we're growing. But what
Mhm.
happened when you have two people that believe they start off right here, and then you have one who matures, one who grows, you see, one who's open to change, you see, one embrace newness, and the other one is just stuck. They don't want to do anything different. They don't want to go anywhere now. You see, it's just working
Mhm.
back home and the kids, working back home and it's the kids. And this person is like, hey, I work and stuff too, but let's take a vacation. Let's go somewhere. Let's do something. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to do anything. Wow. So guess what? This person just grow off and leave you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because they grow. So I believe I won't say it's normal, but like you said, it does happen. If both of you are not growing, and growing in the same direction.
yes.
Okay. Um, I think there's a another question I had. Let me see if I've got something else on Facebook there. Um, it says the question I have is, can you be in love but not sexually attractive? Uh-oh, come on now.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
We always, well, when I was growing up and in my younger days, and looking at movies and what Hollywood defines love as, it was sexual. The kissing, the petting, the sex, all of that. But you can love somebody and not have sex. I remember when I got engaged to my husband and the kids I was teaching, and they said, "Well, what if he can't perform in bed? Are you going to do so and so and so and so?" I said, "I'm not going to before marriage." "Well, what if he can't perform? What you going to do?" I said, if we love each other, we will find a way to make our relationship work. There are lots of things that can be done to make the marriage and make the relationship pleasant, productive, exciting. So I'm not sure if that answered the question, but
Hey, listen, that's your answer, so that's a good answer. But I'm inclined to agree with you. You can be in love, but not sexually attractive. I mean, not that the person can't. to that degree to perform or whatever, but you're just not in. You like everything else about that person. You see what I'm saying? You they're your best friend. They da 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 da, but you're just not sexually attracted to the person.
And you can have a friendship without. We talk about friends with benefits, but you can have a true friendship. Is not a sexual relationship. It's a connection of the spirit, connection, a soul connection. There's and there's a certain amount of calm and peace and satisfaction that you have from relating to this person, but you're not sexually involved with them and you're not sexually attracted to them. And you may be sexually attracted to them. Will you abstain and just have a friendship and build that? And
Yeah.
I think every relationship should start with friendship and then it evolves, it can evolve into something else. But we cut it short. We don't get to know the people before we jump in bed with them and give them everything we got.
Wow. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic all in itself. You're so right. Seems like that's the first thing out of the box,
It
and
is.
a lot of people think that's the end all be all, but that's not the crazy glue that will hold a marriage or a relationship
Mm-mm.
together. Hear me
It's
when I tell you. They might think it is, but it's not. But it is noted as well that losing attraction for someone doesn't always mean that the relationship is over. There are plenty of people who decided that we're just going to stay together and we're not sexually drawn to each other, but everything else is good. And they're aware of that. So many, they become aware of how their desire can wane or wax. Maybe they were in the beginning, but something happened. And yeah, attraction is a complex kind of thing, and we know that.
yes.
And people are attracted to people for various reasons. So um, yeah. Um, so, what should you do if you're losing attractions to someone? What kind of actions can you take if you're losing attraction? I think that's a good question. I had that as a question. What could you do? If you start to feel less interested in your partner, you know, don't ignore it.
Yeah.
You want to investigate what's going on. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I thinking this?
Yes.
Uh, and otherwise you'll find yourself turning away from the relationship, and then you'll start looking for another connection with someone else, and it's easy to do.
Yes.
you know
It is.
Virtual affairs is a real thing, y'all. That's a whole nother topic too. uh, I see that a lot when people say, well, we just don't communicate anymore. And the next thing you know, you're communicating with somebody on your job all the time, and
Yes.
you look forward to talking to that person. And
Mm,
now you don't care if you talk to your partner at home or not, because
yes.
that other person has your interest, at work or at the store or whatever. And now you're communicating with that person. So you'll definitely lose interest. Okay, I see online someone says communication and quality time is key, which already has been addressed. Husbands and wives should sleep in the same bed unless for medical reasons. Amen. I agree with that. That's definitely, I agree with that. Thank you so much. Like I say, the connection. You've got to work on that connection,
Yeah.
or the interest will definitely be lost. And again, um, uh, uh, um, I'm losing my train of thought now. But yeah, if you start to feel like you are not interested anymore, investigate that thing. Ignore it. Don't ignore it.
Yeah.
Try to find out what's going on, and then have a conversation.
Yes.
Uh, if someone's open to having a conversation, and there again, therein lies the one of the biggest issues, Dr. Brenda, when one or the other one notice a certain thing, you see,
Mm-hmm.
and start looking at a wedge that's coming and brings it to the other one's attention, and then the other one don't want to talk about it or don't want to address it. What do you do? Therein lies part of the problem. One, realize that there is an issue,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to talk about this. And every time I come to you, for the last 3 or 4 months to try to talk about this issue, you shoo me away, or you don't want to talk about it, or you
Yeah.
don't have time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
before you know it, here comes this great divide. At first, it was just a little bitty crack. Now here's a whole crack. So, that
Excuse me.
person is finding somewhere to go, something to do, somebody else to talk to.
Yes.
Because the thing about it, everybody deserves and want to be heard,
Yes. And valued.
valued, and heard.
Mm.
And if you don't listen to me and are not willing to hear me out, that tells me you don't value what I have to say. Therefore, you don't value me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's very important.
Yeah, yeah. So, wow. Mm, 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 mm. I know all these topics keep coming up. This person says, my partner loves me, but is not interested sexually. Why? Okay. There again, we could talk about that all night. You said it earlier. When you first fall in love with someone, you can't get enough of them. You just want to be up under them all the time, and vice versa. And it's hard sometimes. I don't agree with them when they say it's hard to keep that feeling, because you can, but you have to be intentional about it.
It's like a fire in the fireplace. It will go out if you don't keep putting wood on it.
What you Bingo. Oh, that's
You
it.
have to have a plan,
You have to have a
and you
plan.
have to work that plan. Now, with
Yeah.
the partner who, what was the question? He didn't want to have.
Well, he loves it didn't say he, the partner loves the person, but
Mhm.
they're not interested sexually. And before you say that, we know that sometimes there are medical challenges. We got that part. But
Yeah, that
aside
was
from that, you got the medical challenges. And then a lot of times a person's appearance change. Let's just keep it real. We as mothers, if listen, I'll say it like this. When I got married, I was a brick house. Okay.
I can believe that.
Listen, but 4 babies later, I had to get vinyl siding, what? And I won't blame it all on the babies, you know what I'm saying? But you just go through so many metamorphoses.
Changes.
So
Yes.
sometimes that can do it. I'm using humor, but I'm serious. Sometimes one or the other one will gain, a weight or lose weight, you see, and that will cause a person to lose interest. And be that as it may, people can say anything they want to say, but a lot of times these two little eyes, these two little holes in our head, that's the thing that keeps us in trouble,
Yeah.
because it's the eye appeal, you
Yeah.
see.
Yes.
So we have to talk about that too.
Yeah.
So, and there's a conversation that can be had,
Yeah.
around the health challenges. If you have medical challenges, or if you've got something going on in your body that's caused you to gain, excessive weight, and for whatever reason you can't seem to, lose the weight or whatever. Or on the flip side of that coin, you've got some people who have lost excessive weight.
Yes. All of that
Yeah.
can contribute.
And that pendulum can swing both ways. But most of the time, I hear the stories coming from men, about the women who have gained weight, and he's like, no, that's not the woman I married. So I'm just not interested anymore.
Yeah. That the emphasis is on the physical. But when I got married, my husband told me, well, if you get up to 200, I'm gone. Well, honey, I got to 195.
And he stayed.
I did.
He wasn't going nowhere.
But he didn't realize my weight. I knew it because I'm looking at it. He didn't know, but I'm living with the consciousness that
Okay.
he had said that to me. So
Okay.
that was like a something over my head that I was always conscious of, and I kept thinking I got to do something. But we investigated. I had a thyroid problem, and I talked to him about it, and he said, "No, I would never leave you." And you. What he was saying to me was, if you get careless and you let yourself go,
Yeah, yeah,
and you are untidy, I was attracted to the woman in you. If you let that go, I'm leaving.
yeah.
That was what he was saying. But see, you have to know your stuff and you hook them into you.
That's
The
it.
other than the physical appearance,
That's it.
to make him fall in love with you, with the essence of you.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
things for him that no other person has ever done and no other person, no other woman will do. I made myself valuable to him.
Valuable. What you say? Make yourself
Mhm.
valuable. Y'all hear
Absolutely.
that? Make yourself valuable to him. Y'all hear that? That's what I'm talking
Mhm.
about. And vice versa. He needs to learn some tricks of the trade to make himself valuable to you as
He
well.
came well equipped.
There you go. So that thing can be equitable. You see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes,
You don't want it to be out of balance. You see what I'm saying?
yes.
You're fully valuable to him and he's not. So, but you brought up something that I thought about when I was getting ready to start this tonight.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people do let themselves go. You see what I'm saying? They just let themselves go. I notice how they don't keep their appearance up, and it's not always people who have children. I've seen some people who don't have children. They just don't keep themselves together and well groomed. You see, you know, he'll go to work and come home from work. I'm gonna use an example. Being a mechanic, okay, he get off. He done worked on cars all day. Nothing wrong with a mechanic. Send me one. They make good money, so it ain't got nothing to do with the profession. Okay, I know how to clean him up, but he'll come home and just sit down in the chair in the same dirty, smelly clothes. You see what I'm saying? That he worked in all day. What? No, let's don't do that. Come in the door stripping that stuff off. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead and get that all off. And I got your shower ready. You can go ahead and do that. And then come in and sit down and relax. You see?
Yes.
And same thing, sometimes women, even sometimes ones who don't work, I mean, she just keeps the bonnet on all the time, you see, and just what they used to call that dress, a moo.
A moo.
Yeah, or old fashioned, house dress on or whatever. And so he never gets to see, like you said a few minutes ago, the essence of you. He just get to see that.
All the time.
Yeah. So naturally, but when he met you, I mean, you were looking jazzy and you had your little lip gloss on, had hair going some kind of way and
Mhm.
had on some stuff cut all the way down to here. You see what I'm saying? But now you covered up like
In
grandma
a
or the
long
Sunday
outing
school
gown.
teacher.
I used to teach my ladies, you need a night wardrobe just like you have a day wardrobe.
Okay.
You need to have variety so you can switch it up and cause some interest. Oh,
Awesome
that
interest.
looks good. Oh, I like that on you. But if
Yeah.
you're wearing the same old thing all the time, I mean, you can make a t-shirt look good if you know how to wear it.
What you say? Y'all are y'all listening? Y'all listening to this sage over here? Listen, this 81-year-old got some wisdom going on over here. Y'all better be catching these nuggets, young women out here. You better catch these nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah, to lose interest and feel like, well, I got you now, so I don't have to do what I did to get you. But yes, you do. You have to keep it up and come up with some new creative things because he's
Yes.
seeing stuff out in the street all the time. You're not competing with that, but this is his specialty. You are his specialty. You two belong to each other. Create that bond with him. But then if he doesn't have the interest, if he's in it for the wrong reasons, it's nothing you can do with that, really.
Bingo. Bingo. If he really is not into you, it doesn't matter what you do. And vice versa.
Absolutely.
If
Hmm.
she's not really into a guy, it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what he buy her. It doesn't matter what he does. If she's not into you, baby, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
You
that's
see,
true.
you can fake it for a while, but yeah, it's a real wrap. And then, like you said, I can't remember who made the song back in the day. I'm a song person. The
Okay.
same thing it took to get your
Together.
baby, you got
Same
to do the
thing
same thing to
to
keep
keep
her.
them.
You
Yes.
see, and so you got to keep the sparks alive because you definitely will, lose interest. Yes, you love the children and they're very much a part of your life, but guess what? In less than 18 years or 18 years, the kids are going to be gone. And if you let your whole relationship go and don't have anything to build on, you don't have a connection. You see, you're just going to be like two ships in the night passing when you're in the house,
Yes.
when you become an empty nester. You see, you're not going to have anything to talk about, you know, or yeah. So we go through physical changes that causes people to lose interest. We go through some emotional changes. Sometimes
Hmm.
that causes people to lose interest. Um, I'll say from us as women, a lot of times, sometimes that menopause can be tricky. You know, it
It can be dangerous.
it can be evil. It can be evil. And so, listen, I'm just going to say if anyone's listening to this and you're faced with that and you're going through that, don't try to go through it on your own. Get you some help. I
Yeah.
mean, reach out to some seasoned women, some people who have gone through that journey, even though yours will not be equally the same, but there's some things that we can share with you, you see, to
Yeah.
help you through that.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me. I had a very dear friend of mine. She's gone home to be with the Lord now, but she was much, older than me. Matter of fact, she probably was your age or a couple of years older.
Hmm.
And she shared some things with me. She said, Watson, you're not gonna die. You're gonna be all right. You see, and they can help you. Don't try to tunnel through this stuff on your own. You see, if you start having mood swings, or
Hmm.
the hot flashes, or you know uh, bouts of depression, and you just don't want to be bothered with anybody, or even I'm just go ahead and tell you, if you get to a point where you're not sexually interested anymore while you're going through menopause or whatever, yeah, you need to go see about yourself, okay?
Yes, you do.
Because if you have a husband, that's not a good thing. I'm just gonna say it like that. That's not a good thing. All
Yeah.
right. So there you go. Couples do lose interest with all those kind of things, okay? Um, well, we've said it before, but you've got to have not just communication. I like to say you've got to have honest and compassionate and passionate. You
And
see,
transparent.
and transparent. See, passionate communication and compassionate communication are two different types of communication.
Absolutely.
All right. I hope somebody online caught that. Did y'all catch that?
Yes,
Listen,
you got to
you
have both passion and
and
compassion.
compassion. You know, I want to say you have to, and I'm saying those strong words, you have to develop you some love language that's just conducive to the two of you. You got
Yes.
to develop some language that other folk won't know what you're talking about.
And you don't
You
have to
see,
talk if you do it right.
there you go. But I'm
Symbols.
just saying, you talking, you got certain signals that you use, you got certain little phrases that you use. You see what I'm
Hmm.
talking about among the two of you. I'm not talking about with
Yes.
other folk. You see what I'm saying? It's like you sending a smoke signal or whatever, you know.
Yes.
And if you're really in tune to each other, you know what the signals are.
Yes.
You see, now just like anything else, they can become antiquated. So what you do, since we are creators, as your relationship evolve, you create some more little signals. You see,
Yes.
don't try to do the same thing for 40 or 50 years. Got to add some more to that. Uh, and like I said, by all means, if you need to seek some professional support.
Your
Now that's a
doctor,
toughie.
your doctor, a counselor, but
Yeah,
get help. And don't be
yeah.
ashamed of it. We often say we don't want anybody in our business, but you better have somebody in your business, or else you may not have any business for long.
You won't have any. I mean, your
Mm.
business will be gone off and left you. Look, there again, you see another song came to my mind. I think it may have been Teddy Pendergrass. He said, "The whole town's talking about me.
Ah,
Silly fool had to lose such a good thing because you couldn't swallow your pride, you see, or
yeah,
wouldn't swallow your pride enough to seek some professional support
yes.
or some professional help. Okay. Listen, when you start feeling a certain type of way, start thinking a certain type of way, or start noticing, oh, she's not, you know, um, maybe coming toward me like she used to. She's not, making any advancements, or he's not. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You got to be thinking what's going on. You know, don't just sit around and just let everything happen. Okay.
Yes.
I think our audience went to sleep tonight. Oh yes, it is, Miss Jennifer. She said, "Is this the guest who found love the fourth time around?" Yes, it is.
Yes. Actually, the fifth time around.
Okay, okay. But listen, the newlywed couple that I had on about 3 weeks ago, the Fleetons, Mrs. Fleeton had never been married before, but she was Mr. Fleeton's fourth wife. You
Oh.
see?
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's something about that four has been happening lately. Isn't that something? Wow, wow. But all jokes aside, partners should consider getting help, from a therapist. And I'm not just saying that because I am a therapist, but when you're stuck and can't figure out how to solve certain issues, okay, a therapist can help you figure out how to deal with, some of the complicated parts of the relationship, help promote healing, okay? Now, listen, I will never dismiss spiritual help. You see what I'm saying? But also, yes, we need some personal help as well. Okay, and a therapist can help you build a more satisfying partnership. Okay,
Yes.
uh, even people who are having challenges medically. Okay, like I said, sometimes menopause causes problem for women. Sometimes menopause, y'all better hear me, causes problem for men. Okay,
Yes.
now they calling it ED, but I call it menopause, and that can happen at any age. I'm gonna say it's happening as early as 30 something now. On
Yeah.
up, you see, and so listen, don't I'm gonna say it like this, Dr. Wilson. I'm gonna come close. Don't just
Okay.
sit there and pray and lay your hands on things and think they're gonna work. Okay, get you a therapist and a medical doctor and get some checkups so you can see what the problem is going on. Sometimes the problem is medical. Sometimes it's mental. Okay.
Yes.
When it's medical, you go see the MD. When it's mental, you come see me, the PhD. How about that?
I
I'm
love
joking,
it.
but I'm serious as I can be because that's what happens.
Yes.
I do get referrals from the MD. You see, because sometimes it's not medical. Isn't
Yes.
that something? Okay, someone says menopause and ED can do a lot of damage to a marriage or relationship without communication. You're right, without communication.
You can
Because
destroy it.
listen, if you communicate, and as long as the two of you want to be together and the two of you are into each other, though neither one of those things have to cause a real hiccup. You
Right.
can work through both of those because you're into each other. Okay, there's so many more, things that you can do to have a fulfilled marriage. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I tell people, look, intercourse is not the end all be all. A lot of times it's overrated. And I know that might sound bad coming from me, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. A lot of times it's overrated, you see? Because if that's all you got, what do you really have?
Not enough.
What do you don't. You really don't, So building that bond, that connection, you see, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. You're exactly right. Menopause and ED, they can do a number on a lot of marriages, and they have, because people won't communicate. What happens when you start having issues rather than talking to your partner? You begin to withdraw.
Yes.
You see, so let's think about it like this, Dr. Wilson. If I'm going through menopause and I would withdraw, and if he is going through menopause and now he withdraw, then what? Then what? What have we
You
done?
you leaving the door wide open for Satan to come in and pull you out.
Or either what are we doing? Just sitting around waiting on death to come get us?
Some people do that too.
I mean, really. Look, I want y'all to hear me. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over because you're going through menopause. It's not over because you're having erectile dysfunction. And I'm gonna say it like this. And guys, some of you that's listening, be very careful. I'm non-medical, but be very careful about a lot of the prescriptions that are being prescribed. I'm
Oh
just gonna say
yes.
that. Take it for what it's worth, but be very careful. Um, I'm gonna tell you what I know for sure. When you're with the right person that really wants to be with you, and you really want to be with that person, you don't need no prescription.
You don't.
Now, if you've got some other medical challenges going on, then you get those seen about, okay? Can I tell y'all that God created this body to work? He created this body and he created it to work
He did.
good. He stamped good on it, didn't he?
He
When it was
did.
all over, he said, "It is good."
Good.
Yeah. Uh, and he ordained it so that man and woman can be together. Okay. And there are some other mammals who have sex as extracurricular activities, but for the most part, humans are the number one that have it for extracurricular activities. A lot of mammals just have sex for procreation only. That's all. you
Yeah.
know some of them only like come together once a year or once every 2 or 3 years just to mate. Ain't that something? But God loves us so much that he says, hey, husband and wives, have a party. He said the marriage bed is undefiled. Ain't that
Under
something?
fire. I love it.
That's good news.
That
Wow.
is good news.
Yeah. So couples lose interest, like we say, for a variety of reasons. Uh, not communicating properly, not really being into each other. If you have some emotional issues, if you have some physical issues. One biggie we forgot. They lose interest when there's financial issues as well.
Yeah.
If you've got someone who continually keeps on, messing up the money or whatever, or have a habit or whatever, that can really cause someone to lose interest as well. You
Yes.
know, so it's so many things that cause couples to lose interest. Um, but I'll say this, Dr. Wilson, and then I'm gonna be quiet because I just talk, talk, talk. Um, when you realize or notice that there is, I'm going to say a hiccup. That's what I like to call it. Okay.
Okay.
Um, address it. Don't let 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks pass by, you see, before the two of you sit down away from everybody else and address that issue so that you all can talk about it. Okay. Because I don't believe there's any issue that can't be solved if the two of you really want to be together. Any.
I find that one thing that we are not we don't focus on is conflict resolution.
Okay.
And we need to learn how, at least in my experience, how to have a good fight. Now, a good fight is where you acknowledge each other's differences. You decide, okay, let's sit down. You set aside time. You don't just get into a heated argument because you're in conflict with each other. You set a time to come back and address that issue when you have enough time to work through it and come to a solution. That was one of the things that was really good with my fourth husband, is that we would do that. We, when we came into conflict and we find ourselves going back and forth, we decided before then that we would set aside a time, a day and a time, that we could sit down together in a
Yeah.
comfortable place
Yeah.
and talk and lay it all on the table and come up with a resolution. And we've gotten to the point that we would, whatever the conflict was, we talk about it, solve it. And sometimes we couldn't do it by ourselves. We had a mentor, and I strongly advise everybody have a mentor or an accountability partner, someone that has your best interest at heart and is pulling for you as hard as you're pulling for yourself in your relationship. We'd have to have a third party. And then once we came to a conclusion about why this happened, celebrate it.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
out on a date. Do something special to acknowledge we've hit another milestone.
Yeah.
Those things help to draw you into each other.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. That conflict resolution, because you're going to have conflict.
Oh, you
There,
are.
nothing is going to be 100% perfect. You see?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Someone totally disagreed with me one time when I said that couples can have a healthy argument. They said,
And they
"It's
can.
no such thing as a healthy argument." I said, "Well, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
But yes, there is. You
Yeah.
can have a healthy argument. And that's how you do it right there with conflict resolution." So
Resolution. Yes.
thank you so much for bringing that up. And I think that, if I might say, everything we talked about is important, but I think that puts the icing on the cake. You see,
Yes.
because after you've been together for more than 20 minutes, yeah, and start walking this journey as a couple, there are going to be some conflicts or some things to arise.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't know how to agree to disagree and come together and resolve things, like you said,
Mhm.
putting everything up on the table, without finger pointing, you
Yes.
see, without
Yes.
blaming, you see,
Yes.
and just take responsibility for mine. You take responsibility for yours. Let's put it up on the table now. Okay,
Let's
let's
work it
work
out.
this out.
Hmm.
It's not about who's right and who's wrong. I ask couples a lot of times, is it more important for you to be right, or is it more important for you to be together? You know, cut that kindergarten stuff out. Nah, I told you so. I told you so. I'm right. I don't nobody want to hear that, because
No.
sometimes you're right and sometimes she's right.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
sometimes you're wrong and sometimes he's wrong. So if we would just accept that and say and learn how to turn it into a game. Say, you know what? You were wrong for that. Okay, give me a high five and
Yeah.
go on about your business. You
Yeah.
see, rather
Yeah.
than getting mad and pouting and then you having to go sleep in the other room for about 2 weeks and all that kind of stuff. Or if the kids still home, you're not sleeping in a separate bed for 2 weeks. I guess you just on the edge of this side and he just on the edge of this side.
All of that is very uncomfortable. I'd rather be in the middle embraced.
I hear you, but it will happen. Okay, let me see what Florence, the newlywed, is saying. Girl, I just messaged you earlier. I said, "Hello, newlywed. You left the South." She said, "Yes, me and mine understand just today. We are from different backgrounds and different cultures, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to learn each other and respect each other in each other's ways. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to be together, you've got to embrace his culture and some of his ways, and he's got to embrace your culture and some of your ways, you see? And listen, you can work through it. You can
Yeah.
work through it, you see? And if you start in time before you get this great divide, I believe you can salvage it. 9 times out of 10, I'll say this. Um, well, no, I'm gonna keep that thought. But okay. It's a little presumptuous, so I won't say that. I'll save that for a workshop or a conference.
I'll give
Yeah.
you another key:
Okay.
praying together
Oh, come on with it.
out loud, one for the other.
Okay.
That is a bonding tool or instrument that the Holy Spirit works in. And if we open ourselves up to the Holy Spirit and to our partner in honest prayer, that is a bond that's not easily broken.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You got to pray and let me say this: pray as well as play. You see what I'm
Oh, you
saying?
got to do both.
Well, there's some people, I'm just gonna tell you, that's got the pray down pat, but they don't have no play.
No play.
No play. Because for whatever reason, I don't know if they feel like they're too aged or they're too mature or they're too serious or they're too whatever. And so they just don't play. You see, you've got to have some play and some fun. If you
That's right.
don't,
That laughter.
laughter, look, create you some if you don't have any, because you've got to have that uh, as well. A healthy balance. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
The communication, the prayer, the play, the
Yes.
fun, the vacation. And when I say vacation, it doesn't always have to be a full long drawn out trip, cross country or to other states or whatever. You can take a vacation right in your hometown or your home state. You see, just get
You could,
away from the house.
yeah,
Just go down, get
you
you a.
create a vacation in your own house.
Well,
You
you can, but I'm saying if you want to change the environment, you see, sometimes,
Mhm.
what I learned, Dr. Wilson, sometimes you have to take folk out of a familiar
Environment.
environment
Yes.
for them
Yeah.
to cut loose and, act a little different.
Well, my husband and I used to leave our house and go check in the hotel for a
That's
weekend or
There
for
you go.
just overnight. It was
There you
just
go.
something about leaving the house,
It's something
going
about it.
someplace.
Yes. You
And
need
so you
that.
need to do that and be creative
Yes.
with your ideas. We dated and we set date nights, and the date nights didn't stay the same the whole 33 years, but we would change it to accommodate our schedules.
Yes.
But there was something to look forward to. He had something to look forward to coming home because I would dress differently.
There you go. There you go.
Sometimes, we would have a date in the living room, and it'd be a picnic, and we'd be in Hawaii. That was in our mind. We paint that picture, and
Yeah.
we act it out.
There you go. There you go.
And those are little things that knit you together.
Yes. You got to have some creativity, And the thing about it, for the most part, most of us women do have that. But I'll be transparent and tell you that some of them are afraid to let that woman inside of her live.
Yeah.
They suppress her for whatever reason, you see. So
Well, people make fun of you when you think outside of the box,
yeah,
but you got to be confident in yourself
yeah.
for sure.
Okay, I see someone says my problem is I'm so independent and he's so loving. I feel I can do it myself. How do I let go? You
Girl, change your man.
you just have to change your mind. You know it. You be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes,
Because I will say it like this: everyone wants to feel needed and wanted.
yes.
And what I know for sure, when a man does not feel like he's wanted, he's going to find somebody to make him feel like
Yeah,
he's wanted.
that absolutely and appreciate it. So please
Yeah.
change your mode of operation, being independent. That means you want to be by yourself. If you
I,
got somebody, a man there with you, honey, give up your independence.
yes, yes. Allow
Be
him to
flexible and
just,
allow him to be a man.
yeah. Let him do. I mean, you don't have to do all those things you were doing when you were alone, So why? I mean, listen, he is your help mate. He's your helper.
Hmm. And
Hear
you're
me?
his help.
And you're his helper. So there you go. There you go. Just do it. You got
Yeah.
it. Just do it.
Yes,
Thank you for that question. That's awesome.
that
Somebody
is.
else wanted to ask that question, but you ask it. So, yeah, that's the thing. We can't continue to be the same way we've been when we were single once we get married, take on a partner. That will not work.
Well, once you get into a relationship with a man, you need to recognize that God made him different from you. He is a provider, a protector, a leader. He's equipped for that. He gets his identity from taking care of and providing. If he's a real man, like you may
Yeah.
have a boy, I don't know, but let him be a man and you be a woman. I mean, Eve handled her business.
Yeah.
She got Adam. Do you realize Adam had a relationship with God in the garden where he would go and they would talk in the evenings and walk through the garden and God would communicate with him. And God gave him a command, told him, listen, don't touch the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everything else you can have. Then he presented him that fabulous woman. Adam woke up from sleep, said, oh my God, wow, woman. And all she had to do was pull that fruit, hold it in her hand, and make a gesture. She didn't have to say nothing. And he was so into her, he forgot that he had a face to face relationship with God
Just that quick.
just that quick. And he took a bite. Nothing happened until he took a bite. When she bit the apple, nothing changed. When he bit the apple, the Bible says their eyes came open. So you're a powerful woman. You can make a man forget about God. You don't want him to do that. You want to point him to God and go to God with him together. Eve misdid herself. And now we have menopause. You
Yeah, you messed up
label with the childbirth
because we would have never been battling with this knowledge of good and
and
evil that we're
evil.
battling with now. That's it right there. Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Listen, I know our time has been far spent. I appreciate all of you that came on tonight on live and had some input and had some questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
And perhaps next week, don't know yet, but we'll come back on next week, maybe talk about some dating stuff because I know people got questions about dates and things like that. Let's see what she says. I pray for patience. I think because I was raised strong, I'm used to being in charge, and I'm praying to, yeah, yeah. We just have to shift. I hear you, and yeah, but yeah, we just have to. It's about making a conscious decision. You see
yes.
what I'm saying?
All about
It's
choices.
about making a conscious decision and just begin to pull back. You see what I'm saying? Just allow him to do things, even things that you know you can do for yourself. You see,
Yes,
there were many things that I could do for myself. You see, but yeah, I would just ask my husband to do it. You see,
yes.
yeah. Anyway, you see, because everybody wants to feel needed and wanted. Let me just
Mhm.
end with that. Everybody, okay, and
And
that's one of
respect
the
it.
and respect it, yeah. But that's one of the things too that cause people to lose interest. I mean, you don't allow you tell how many times can you show me that you don't need me, even if you don't say it?
Yeah, by
How
doing
many
all
times
the
can
stuff.
you show me that you don't
Mhm.
need me, even if you don't say it? You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Now, some
yes,
people will say it. I
yes.
hear people say, I don't need no man or I don't need no woman. I said, well, don't you get one? Don't you get one? Okay. You just stay right on by yourself because everybody wants to feel needed and
Yes.
wanted. You see?
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Judge Lynn Toller says this when she used to do divorce court. She said her mama told her back in the day, don't ever let a man tell you more than once that he don't want you.
Oh yeah, it's time for a change.
Yeah. And and I'm not biased. I let that pendulum go both ways. Don't ever let a woman tell you more than once that she don't want you. You see?
Hmm.
And don't try to say, oh, she just playing. She just making that up. Really?
No,
No.
no.
It's a wrap.
Words have life.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you'll do better. Florence, you know you can reach out to me as well, but you're going to do better. But just pull back. Just let him do stuff. Just let him have a party, and you'll see a difference. That'll help him as well
It
in you
makes him
all's
feel
marriage.
fulfilled and
Yes.
important.
Yes, because he
And
wants to do those things, and he
right.
needs to make him feel like a man of worth.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much. Listen, I know you got to go to bed, Dr. Wilson, and I do too. And you all on live, you all do too. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope we've said something that will stand out,
Yes, I
as
pray.
you think about unmasking love, and think about why couples lose interest. You see, and if you're in a healthy marriage or a healthy relationship and you've got some hiccups going on, go ahead and start addressing those issues. Don't
Yes.
wait. Don't wait, until you're already ready for divorce court and then try to see a therapist like a lot of people do.
Yes.
Because by that time, one or both of you have already checked out and it's a wrap. You see?
That's true. That's
Yeah, it's a wrap. So give us closing remarks, Dr. Wilson, and we're going to close out. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Unmasking Love.
well,
Final remarks.
life is beautiful. God meant for us to have relationship and to be in relationship. He really didn't create us to be alone.
No.
Going back to the garden, Adam was there. God looked down, talked to his comrades, and said, "Oh, it's not good for that boy to be by himself." And he created Eve.
Yes,
And we as women have a lot of power that we have not tapped into, or not conscious of, not aware of. We need to
yes,
learn ourselves before we try to pull somebody else into ourselves. So get to know you and what makes you tick and what satisfies you, what makes you happy, what excites you. All of that stuff is different. And then go for it.
I think that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you so much. Blessings to each of you.
Blessing.
Listen, you all stay tuned. Lord willing, we'll see you all on next Thursday, the same time, here on Unmasking Love. Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
You are so welcome. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
M.
You all see this gorgeous 81-year-old. I tell you, when I grow up, yeah, I'm coming at her. Yeah, I want to be just like her when I grow up.
Well, I'm
Amen.
passing it down to
Thank you. I receive that mantle. I receive it. Thank you so much.
you.
Listen, blessings to you, and we'll talk soon.
Yes.
All right. Have a good
Good
night.
good
And thank
night.
you all on Facebook for joining us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Good
Bye
night.
bye.